Monday morning. I walked into the office like any normal day, but by noon, I was fired in front of the entire team. My boss smiled and said, "Pack your things. We don't need you anymore." Everyone looked at me like I had already lost. What they didn't know was this. By Friday, their biggest client would belong to me, and their company would start falling apart. I had worked at that company for 5 years. Late nights, weekend meetings, fixing problems no one else could solve. And the biggest project we had was a multi-million-dollar deal with a powerful client. I was the one managing it. Every detail, every strategy. But that Monday morning, something felt strange. When I entered the meeting room, the CEO, my boss, and HR were already sitting there. Their faces were cold. My boss leaned back in his chair. "Your position is no longer needed." I was shocked. "No longer needed?" He nodded. "Someone else will handle your project." Then he said something that made the room silent. "Honestly, anyone could do your job." The team laughed quietly. That was the moment I realized something. They didn't just want to fire me. They wanted to humiliate me. So I packed my laptop and walked out. But as I left the building, I smiled, because they had just made the biggest mistake of their careers. You see, that big client everyone was talking about, they trusted me, not the company. For 2 years, I had built that relationship. Late calls, emergency meetings, solving problems at midnight. The CEO of that client company once told me, "If you ever leave, call me first." So Monday evening, I called him. He answered immediately. "Why are you calling so late?" I took a breath. "They fired me today." There was a long silence. Said something unexpected. "They what?" I explained everything. The meeting, the humiliation. He sounded angry. Then he said quietly, "That company doesn't understand something." "What?" "We signed the deal because of you." My heart started racing. Then he asked the question that changed everything. "What are you doing next?" By Tuesday morning, I had a meeting with him. Not in their office, in a private conference room downtown. He looked at me and said, "I don't trust your company anymore." Then he leaned forward. "But I trust you." He placed a document on the table. "If you start your own consulting firm, we will move the entire contract to you." My mind went blank. This was the company's largest client. Losing them would destroy the entire project. I asked carefully, "Are you serious?" He smiled. "The wrong person." So by Wednesday, I registered a small consulting company. Just me. One laptop, one contract. Thursday morning, my old company received the email. The client was canceling the contract. The same contract my boss said anyone could handle. Panic spread through the office. Emergency meetings started. Phone calls. Blame everywhere. But the worst moment came when they discovered something. The client had already signed with someone else. Me. My old boss tried calling me 5 times. I ignored it. Then the CEO called. I finally answered. He sounded desperate. "What did you do?" I replied calmly. "Your client made their own decision." "You stole our deal." "No," I said. "You gave it away." Friday afternoon, I walked into the same building where I had been fired 4 days earlier. But this time, I wasn't an employee. I was a consultant representing their former biggest client. The board had called an emergency meeting. My old boss was sitting there, nervous, angry. The CEO looked exhausted. When I entered the room, the atmosphere was completely different. No one laughed. No one smiled. The CEO cleared his throat. "We want to discuss a partnership." I sat down slowly. The same chair where I had once presented reports. Then I said something they would never forget. "On Monday you said anyone could do my job." The room was silent. I looked at my former boss. "So why can't you?" No one answered. Because now, they finally understood the truth. They hadn't fired an employee. They had fired the only person keeping their biggest client happy. And it only took 4 days for them to regret it. Sometimes companies think employees are replaceable, but the truth is simple. You can replace a worker, but you can't replace trust, and once it's gone, it never comes back.